need to whine, it's Whinypaluza. Have some wine and join us on the Whinypaluza podcast with Rebecca Greene.
Hello, this is Rebecca Greene with the Whinypaluza podcast. Today we have guest Corritta Lewis, and Corritta and her family are a full-time travel family that recently settled in Mexico. She recently left her full-time job to work on their blogs full-time and has started to see the results of their hard work. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to meet you.
You too.
I am so excited for this topic because I'm going to tell you that I am the worst traveler.
Really?
So I'm very excited to learn from you.
Okay. Hopefully I can teach you something.
I think you're going to teach me a lot. Can you tell me what inspired you to start this blog?
I think what inspired us was the lack of diversity within the travel industry. That was a huge reason. And another reason was we wanted to be able to make money without the requirement locations. We wanted to be able to work anywhere.
Yes.
And which is funny because I have a job. I used to have a job where I could work anywhere. I didn't need to be in the office, but for whatever reason, they wanted me in the office every day.
Okay.
And I think the thing that really, the straw that broke the camel's back was I went back to work 7 weeks after having our son.
Oh.
And that just broke my heart. And that for me was the final straw.
Yes. Yes. So you have created a job for you where you can be with your family.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. What is your favorite place that you have been?
I think Thailand has been my favorite place so far. We went to an elephant sanctuary, which is really important. Make sure you go to elephant sanctuaries, don't participate in riding on elephants or anything like that. And you get to learn about them and, walk with them and interact in a safe and sustainable, ethical way.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was life altering, really.
There's so many good experiences that you can have traveling if I could become a better traveler. So you're going to teach me as we go. So what are some lessons that you have learned along the way as you've been traveling?
The biggest lesson is, for me, that I have a hard time with is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I'm a natural introvert. So I like to stick to myself. I'm not really a people person. If I have to go up and ask someone a question, it has to be like the last resort. Yeah. I've Googled something. I'm like, we're absolutely lost for me to ask someone for help. Because not that I don't like people. It's just, I'm a natural introvert.
I understand.
And traveling has forced me to get out of my comfort zone. So now that we're in Mexico, I go up and I speak to people in very, very bad Spanish, but they work with me.
Yeah. That's great. I love it. So you're becoming comfortable being uncomfortable.
Exactly. And you really start to learn what's important in life because everything we own, literally, we don't have a storage unit anywhere. We have some things at my mother-in-law's house, which is like important documents and like baby clothes and like cloth diapers. But besides that, everything we own is literally in 5 suitcases behind this door.
Hi. Which I need to learn.
Yeah.
My house of too much stuff. So
yeah. What's going on? Oh, I think I lost you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, okay,
Yes.
You froze for a little bit.
We had a little bit of internet issue. So do you remember the first place that you ever traveled to?
Oh gosh.
Probably a hard question.
The first place we ever traveled to, I think the one that sticks out the most to me was in high school. My grandma took me to California we're from Ohio. And I went to California with my grandma, and it was absolutely the worst trip.
Oh gosh. Why was it the worst trip?
Because as a 17-year-old going to California with your grandma is not, and my grandma was relatively young at the time. She was in her like late 40s. So early 50s. And it was just boring. She wanted to relax. And I was just like, I'm 17. I want to go out and have fun. Can I drive the car? Like, no. It was the worst trip ever. And then it just so happens, it never rains in California. But when we got there for spring break, it rained every single day.
Oh, no.
It was the worst trip ever. It was terrible. And then we got bumped off of our flight, and it was horrible.
Oh my goodness. And you still loved to travel. That probably didn't inspire it though. No. I think the biggest inspiration was just learning that other people were able to do it. Once I get an idea in my head, I obsess over it. Like, I can do this. And I just started looking up other families and said, wow, people are traveling with kids, and this is even before we had our son. People are traveling and they're doing it. So if other people can do it, why can't we figure it out? That's great. I love that. Do you have somewhere on your bucket list that you haven't been to yet?
We had like this grand idea when we left California in January and we had kind of an itinerary. So we had flights set up and how we were going to maneuver around the world. And when everything got canceled, it was just like a huge blow. Yes. Because I was absolutely looking forward to going to Vietnam. I am obsessed with Vietnam for some reason. Yes, I'm somewhat of a history buff, so I love history. So I drag my family to every museum possible anytime we go anywhere.
That's awesome.
So that is a huge one for me, is Vietnam. And also Korea, because our son is half Korean. Okay. So we want to go and want him to be around the culture and the people and the language. So those are two huge destinations for us.
Absolutely. Well, with the whole pandemic going on, you probably were stationary for a while, correct?
Yes and no. So once the pandemic hit, we had actually just got back from a quick trip to Vegas. We decided, like, just randomly, let's go to Vegas to celebrate your 30th birthday. So we did. So we went to Vegas and we came back, and then a pandemic. It was just all of a sudden. So, and 3 weeks after we got back, we were supposed to go to Sesame Place in Philadelphia. And right after that, we were supposed to go to Mexico City and slowly work our way around South America. So that was a huge blow. So we got stuck in Colorado Springs for about 5 months.
Oh, wow.
And we left Colorado Springs and went back to Ohio, and where we're from, and we got to spend a little bit of time with family. And let's say around July-ish, once they started opening things back up, we took a social distance road trip across 6 states.
That's
so
fun.
We didn't really stay still a lot.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I get these ideas in my head, and then, you know, my wife makes them happen pretty much. I come up with these ideas like, you know what? How about we do this? This would be really fun and cool. And we just kind of hash out the details later.
Well, one of us has to have the ideas and one of us has to make the ideas happen, right?
Exactly. That's what makes a good partnership.
Yes, it sounds like you have a good one going on. Can you tell us what else you are doing besides the blog?
So we have our family travel blog. We actually have another blog, which isn't like it's not a glamorous topic, but it's about sustainable, eco-friendly menstrual products. And we, when I left my job, we actually purchased about $3,000 worth of products to donate them to young girls and women administrators in our hometown. and
Wow.
to partner with Walmart and Target and Walgreens to be able to provide those feminine hygiene products that people don't have, that you don't hear about because it's not, a glamorous topic. So that's something we're really working on, to establish a nonprofit to be able to help those who need it.
That's wonderful. I love that. You have a good heart.
Oh, thank you.
What would you say your biggest challenge is right now?
Time management.
Tell me more.
It's you have so much to do in so little time, because I miss the days where I could just call IT and say, hey, my computer doesn't work, fix it. But when you're a blogger, especially when you're in the beginning stages, it's a one-stop shop. You kind of got to go to, Google and YouTube University and figure it out. So I think that's been the hardest part, is trying to decide. I have all these great ideas, but you have to start and finish something.
Yes. I make my husband do all the technical stuff. I can't do any of that stuff. How do you think that you've adjusted your parenting in today's pandemic?
I think that's been, a struggle for us, because, we only have one kid. So he's one. Well, I say he's one. He'll be two in like 2 months.
I remember that age with one child, and it's not easy.
Yeah, it's difficult, because he's a social kid, which he doesn't get from me. So we have struggled with how to still foster that kind of that extrovert in him, while trying to still be safe. And I think that's been a struggle for us, because we want him to keep that. And that's just naturally who he is. And how can we kind of foster that and develop that, even though he's so young and, you can't be around people.
I totally understand.
So that's been a struggle for us, trying to figure out ways to socialize him and it's been a huge struggle. Yes. So I think it's the opposite of what other people are experiencing, keeping their kids away from people. And especially if you have older kids who want to see their friends, but they can still communicate with them through Skype and things like that. But with a 2-year-old who's only saying a couple of words, it's kind of hard.
I've never thought about it that way, because I have a 7-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 13-year-old. So I never even thought about what it's like right now to have a 2-year-old.
Yeah, it's difficult, because we really want him to socialize. And I think for us is he can talk, but he mouths things. And then when we're not around, he'll talk. So I think it's just being able to be around, another little person that he can interact with would be great for him. And that's what we've been really struggling with right now.
I can totally understand that. Now, if you're traveling a lot, do you get to make a community of friends when you stay somewhere?
Yes. So we've been here about a month, a little over a month, and we've met. We've had 2 meetups. So we joined several Facebook groups, because there's a Facebook group for everything.
That's true.
So we joined different Facebook groups, and we just look for people like, hey, does anyone have small kids, and would they like to set up play dates? And he likes to be around older kids, maybe around 3 or 4-ish. I don't know why. But we've met up with a couple different families who have 3-year-olds, and it's been really good. The kids have an opportunity to run around and play together while, we sit, eat tacos, and drink pina colada. So it's a good time.
Oh, that sounds so wonderful.
Yeah, we're actually having a meetup at the beach tomorrow.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
As it's getting colder where I am, I need to come to Mexico.
Oh, it is brutally hot. It is hot. It was 90 degrees today.
Wow. That's a little too hot for me. But if I'm in the water, it's okay. If you're on the beach.
It's like bath water, I'm telling you.
Wow. One day I'll make it to Mexico. One day.
It's gorgeous.
What would you say that your best parenting coping skills are?
My best parenting coping skills.
What do you think?
I think it's confiding in one another. I think it's confiding in your spouse. And here's the thing, and I think I'm lucky because my wife is a preschool teacher.
Oh, wow.
So she's been a preschool teacher for, I don't know, maybe 10 years. So she's like a toddler whisperer. I don't know what it is.
That's perfect.
Yes, they love her. Kids and toddlers just gravitate towards her naturally, and it's so easy. So it makes it a lot easier for me transitioning to being at home full time. That has been a huge help, and trying to adjust. And it's an adjustment for all of us, especially for him, because he's used to me leaving every morning. So that's been a huge adjustment. And I think just spending time together has been very beneficial.
That's wonderful. I'm glad that you have each other.
Yeah. Who are you telling? I'm so lucky.
I understand because my husband and I are total opposites, and we need to balance each other out. So I understand completely. Can you tell us what inspires you to just get up in the morning? What do you think?
What inspires me to just get up in the morning? I think what inspires me is the drive to build something that can outlast us. I think that's something that's important to me. When I was in high school and college, I had this idea of wanting to make a difference somehow. Not exactly sure what way. The only idea I can come up with was joining the Army, and that even though it was great, you don't actually impact the world per se. So I think I just had this grandiose idea of wanting to do something that mattered. And the blog that we started, the travel blog, to me is huge because it's about representation. You don't see a lot of women of color. You don't see two moms. You don't see things like that. So I'm hoping to be a change in the industry. And then with our other blog, I'm hoping to bring light to a problem that really, really needs attention. Because, young menstruators, they miss school for upwards of a week because they don't have the products that they need. And imagine missing school a week every, 1 week every month for 12 years. And think of how long that period is. You menstruate for 30 plus years of your life.
Yes.
So I think for me, that's the driving force, is to really do something that matters and that can really help people.
Well, you are absolutely succeeding.
Oh, thank you.
I am very impressed with that answer. That's amazing. Can you tell us the best advice you have ever gotten?
Best advice I have ever gotten? Man, there's just so many. Best advice I've ever gotten. I think the biggest thing that sticks out in my mind is something my grandma used to say all the time. And I understood what she said, but it never really registered until now, truly. And nothing beats a failure but an effort. So I think at this point, I've always learned to make the ask. So if you don't ask, you're guaranteed to know. Yes. But if you ask, at least you have a 50-50 shot.
Yes.
And I've started taking that approach to how we handle things with our blogs and just our businesses and our nonprofits and everything. And so far it's been working out. We've been getting more yeses than nos, luckily.
Yes. And we don't know unless we ask, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So that for me has been huge. It's just to make the ask, and what's the worst that could happen?
Yes. Yes. That's excellent advice. What do you like best about what you do?
What do I like best? I like the flexibility. The flexibility is so great. We can just decide, okay, we're going to go to the pool today and I'll work later on tonight after the baby goes down to sleep, or I'll just get up early in the morning and work. And then we have the whole day to ourselves. We can go to the beach. And so I think the flexibility is something that's really great. Nothing's worse than having to go and ask to go take your kid to the doctor, or it kind of hurts your heart.
Yes. Yes. I totally agree. And I think that the greatest jobs and one of the biggest satisfactions that I have seen with everyone I've talked to is if their job is flexible. And if there's not flexibility in their schedule, it leads to unsatisfied people.
Yes,
absolutely agree. Yes.
Absolutely. Because life is unpredictable.
Yes. Yes.
As we're all finding out.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. What do you have to say to someone like me who does not consider themselves a good traveler?
I would say the question that we get the most is how do we travel with a baby so young? Because the first time he took his flight was at 8 weeks, and his first big trip was to Beijing at 4.5 months.
You are brave.
And, you know, and a lot of people said that, and we just imagined the worst. And he did not cry one time there or back. 21 hours.
You know that's crazy,
not one
right?
time. Not one time. There or back. It was so, and people were passing us just like, wow, I didn't know there was a baby on this flight. Because he just hung out, and I think the biggest thing I can get, the best advice is, it's never as bad as you imagine it in your mind. It's never that bad. You always imagine it to be the absolute worst. Even on his worst flights, and we've been on maybe 30, 40 flights, and he's had 2 bad ones. And those weren't as bad as you would think they would be. So I think we make up all these scenarios in our heads, and all these maybes and might be's. And even if it is horrible, you'll never see those people again, and it only lasts a couple hours. So
that's excellent advice. Yes, so true.
You know, so that's the approach that I take. You'll never see him again, and at most it lasts the duration of the flight, and after that you're done with it. So and if you're not a good traveler, what makes you a bad traveler? The only bad traveler is someone who doesn't go.
I was going to tell you, I was going to back you up and start with hacking.
Really? Okay, so here's the thing, because I am a bad packer when it comes to clothes, because I love buying him clothes. I am like it, because you just can't help it. They're just so freaking cute. They're so little, and they're cute, and you just get everything miniature is adorable.
Yes.
So that's what I have a problem with. But what I've really started to taper down with is first off, baggage fees. That's the first thing. They add up very quickly.
Yes.
And the second thing is, the key is shirts. You can get away with the same pants and shorts. All you need is 4, 5 different shirts and maybe 2 pairs of shorts or pants, and that's it.
So have gotten a system.
Oh, yeah, we have a system down packed. So for every, we got everything to fit into 5 suitcases. And the only reason we have so many is because we have to write and review a bunch of menstrual products. We have a suitcase dedicated just to that. If it wasn't for that, there would be 4 suitcases, and that's it. But we do travel with not lots of toys, but educational toys, because she can't help herself because she's a preschool teacher. So we have educational blocks and flashcards and chalkboard and all types of stuff.
And he's probably so used to flying by now.
Oh, he loves it. And he's like a people person. He gets up and he'll talk to people behind us, and it's cute until it's time for him to go to sleep and people are talking to him. Like, no, please stop talking to him, because he'll keep talking and laughing. No, it's night time. He's so social, but yeah, he's used to it at this point. He's just like,
he sounds very charming.
Oh, you have no idea. It gets him out of a lot of trouble.
Oh my goodness. What else do you want to share that I didn't ask you?
I think it's just, you can still travel with kids. People think you have to wait until they're older, until you have to, this is what we hear a lot, he won't remember anything, but we remember for him. It's all on the blog, so he can read it.
Yeah.
And I like to point out, even as adults, we don't remember things. This is the big thing that I always point out is I went to the Macy's Day Parade. I was in the Macy's Day Parade when I was 15. And I remember maybe 3 events. I don't even remember half the things that happened there. And I was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
So you'll never remember everything,
Right.
but you'll always have pictures and the videos and the memories. You'll always have that. And the thing that you'll remember when you look back on life is not what you had, but what you did. And I think that's very, very important for me, is when you look back, what did we do that first as a family? What time did we spend together? What traditions did we have? And also what changes or what did you impact on the people that you met? I think that's something that's very important for me. So don't be afraid. Go for it. That's what I tell people. Go for it. Even if your toddler has tantrums, oh well. You'll never see those people again.
I think that people like me don't travel enough, so it can seem overwhelming to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And, I have to push myself to book something. I have to push myself to pack. Mm-hmm. Then I start thinking about where are the pets going to go?
Yeah, you just have so much to think about. And I think for me, what I do to kind of relieve myself of that is I leave gaps. I don't plan everything. I leave these huge gaps, okay? Obviously, the flights. We got the flights. We get to our hotel, and we have a couple events that we want to do. And then the rest of the time, you just leave it open to do whatever while you're there. And that's what people, when you travel with a kid, of course, you can't move as fast. Like today, we were supposed to go to the beach, enjoy Mexican Independence Day, and Caleb decided not to take a nap. So we said, okay, well, we can't go today because he decided not to take a nap. That goes with expect the unexpected. So rearranging things to kind of fit your toddler's needs or your baby's needs. And this is what I tell people too. Traveling with the younger your kid is, the absolute easier it is. They don't have opinions. They just need milk and change. And it is the best thing ever. The easiest time we had was before he turned, before he was 18 months, it was super easy. Mm-hmm. Super easy. You just throw them in a carrier and you're off. They sleep anywhere. They don't care.
It's so true. Yes.
So I just tell people, go for it. Just the heck with what anyone has to say, because everyone thinks we are absolutely crazy. Like, they really do. All of our families, like, they're doing what? When we told them, like, hey, we're moving to Mexico. They're like, what? Yes, we are. We're moving to Mexico. And so far, it has been an absolute blast. It has been amazing.
I think that's awesome. And I want to tell you that you're inspiring me.
Oh, thank you.
I think that, I'm listening to you and I'm taking it all in. And I was so excited to talk to you because I wanted to learn more about traveling. And I think that I get too hung up on what they're asking for. So, my daughter wants a new iPad, for example. Mm-hmm. And I forget that it's all materialistic and that traveling and family experiences is so much more important.
Yeah. We decided not to do gifts, and every year we do experiences. So last year, when our son, he had just turned one, we went to Legoland, and it was a blast. Like, we had so much fun. For my birthday, it was a little extreme, but I went skydiving.
Wow.
For my wife's 30th birthday, we went to Vegas and went to the M&M factory. That was the first time he ever had chocolate, and he is like hooked.
Oh, I bet.
Was our experience. And now for his birthday this year, I think we're going to go to it's an amusement park here in Mexico. So we don't do gifts. No gifts. Everything is always an experience, which to us is so much better. Because first off, he breaks things pretty frequently.
Yes.
And they're so expensive and you lose them. Of course, you have the things like a tablet to help, things like that. But we've moved away from expensive gifts, and everything now and everything we do is about experiences.
Well, and you're teaching that to Caleb so young. that,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? My kids are so old that I think they would revolt.
Yeah, they go on strike. But just slowly, there has to be something of everyone. And then we take our time when we do travel. We take our time and we can do what we want to do, what interests us. So we go to, of course, children's museums. That's a huge thing for us. We always go to a children's museum everywhere we go. Botanical gardens, because he loves flowers.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Pick them. And then we split up. So one day I'll take the baby and you go and do whatever. And the next day you take the baby and I go do whatever. And then another day we go together as a family. So we make it work so we can actually do the things that we want to do. Your vacation should be fun, not stressful.
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes doing nothing is the best thing you can do. I tell people that too.
And I need to hear that. So I'm glad that you just said that. Sometimes you talk to other mothers who are planning trips, and if you heard them, you in particular would laugh at them because they have like an itinerary every single day.
Oh, no.
Right? And I look and I'm like, oh my God.
No, we have general things, and it drives my wife crazy because she's a planner, and I just have general things in my head I know I want to do. Like, oh, well, I know I want to do this, and I know I want to do that. So if we're here somewhere for 4 days, I just have in my head what I want to do for a day and a half. And the rest of the time is just open. We can do whatever suits us. We can figure it out and do that. And I think it drives her crazy, but you're just not as stressed.
Yes.
Because, okay, we got to be here by 2, and then we got to leave here, and we got to go to this park by here. We got to, no, let's go to the park and paddle boat, or let's just not do anything. Hang out at the pool.
I love that. My children did not love Disney World because I had to book everything. I had to book the ride times. I had to book the dinner times. And they were like, this is too scheduled.
Yeah, that's why I struggle with Disney. But we did go to Disney in Japan, in Tokyo.
Wow.
And it was awesome. It's huge. It's just massive. And it was just so awesome. It wasn't scheduled. We could hop on a ride. And granted, it was very cold for our California bodies. But it was amazing. And I think that's why we haven't been in Disney here in the States, is because it's just so crowded. First, it's very expensive. We like to travel on a budget.
Yes.
Like, let me tell you, we paid $300 round trip to Beijing.
Wait a second.
What? I'm telling you, we went to Thailand with a stopover in Japan. That's how we ended up in Tokyo to go to Disney for 3 days. $499 round trip. I'm not making this up. We did that. We went to Hawaii, $125.
Okay,
round trip.
How are you doing this?
So what we do is first, we have the flexibility because our son's not in school. So prices shoot up around break time. Everybody knows that. And then we always try to stay somewhere Sunday through Thursday. Those are the cheapest times to go, Sunday through Thursday, anywhere you go. Airbnb, hotels, anything. Those are the cheapest days of the week.
I'm taking notes.
And then we use something called Scotch Cheap Flights. And what he does is we pay $39 for a year subscription. They have a free version, so you can sign up for the free version, see if you like it.
Okay.
And he just sends you deals to places all over the world based off of what airport you want to fly out of. I get, no lie, I get maybe 5 emails a day to different places around the world. The latest one was to Guyana for $400 round trip.
I'm amazed. My mind is blown.
Yeah. So we do all of this on a budget because we're not flush for cash over here.
Yeah. Well, that's smart traveling.
Yeah. You don't have to have a lot of money to have a good time. A lot of places we go and we literally go to the parks and we have a blast. Like there's just a lot of free things to do. A lot of museums are free. Since the baby gets in free everywhere, we take advantage of that.
Yes.
So everywhere he gets in free, we go. And the biggest thing for us is we don't eat out. We always get groceries. We always buy groceries. Even if it's just quick things for us to make and to eat, it makes it a lot easier, and we spend a lot less money. So we'll decide, okay, these days we're going to go out to eat, and it's always lunch, because lunch they always have the specials. So we typically have lunch wherever we're at, and then we have dinner back at wherever we're staying, which is usually Airbnb or a Wyndham or a condo type, because we need a kitchen, which we love, because I can't stand sleeping with the baby. He's horrible to sleep mate.
I understand. I remember.
He's the worst. The worst.
It's hard because they want to sleep sideways and they want to slap you, and it's hard.
Man,
yes.
He's like a MMA, UFC fighter. And you know what bothers me is because sometimes I watch him sleep in his own, like, we have a portable travel bed, so he has his own little travel bed, and he sleeps so peacefully. He never moves, ever.
Then he gets in bed with you.
Man, and just beats me like no tomorrow.
Yes, I remember. And always sideways. They never sleep vertical. It's always horizontal.
Always feet in your face.
Yes.
All the time. It's like a mission. It's like subconsciously, I have to put my foot in her face. Like,
oh boy, how do I remember? Well, it sounds like you have a ton to teach people about traveling. Can you tell us where our audience can go to learn more about you?
Absolutely. You can go to our Instagram. It's a family thing. So it's ITZA family thing, or our blog. That would be very much appreciated, as we're working on increasing our traffic. Same thing. It's a family thing with a Z.com. Facebook. It's a family thing. Travel the world with kids. So you can learn about different ways we save money. I post deals that I get from Scotch Cheap Flights. So I post those on my Facebook. I post them on my Instagram every once in a while. And YouTube. We just started a YouTube channel that we're not doing very good at keeping up with. But
that's wonderful.
You can learn about us, our backstory, how we met, how we had our son, just how we travel, different areas. You can kind of go on a journey with us as we make our way around the world. We're trying to get to 100 countries in 5 years.
Wow.
But we'll see.
Well, I'm going to start following you, and I'm going to continue to be inspired by you. And I want you to know that you're giving me the traveling bug talking to you.
Thank you very much. It'll be a lot more fun because you guys can do a lot more fun things with older kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
This is Rebecca Greene for the Whinypaluza podcast, remembering everyone to spend every day laughing, learning, and loving.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.